Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame, a look at today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to Viking Pregame. Rick Olson here in the NLWN-TV studio, and we're getting ready to bring you Colfax Viking Football. Tonight, the Vikings, with a record of 1-4 overall, will take on the 4-1 overall Spring Valley Cardinals. The Vikings are looking to bounce back following their decisive 51-0 defeat at the hands of the Boyceville Bulldogs last week, while the Cardinals are looking to keep their 3-0 conference record unblemished. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Colfax Vikings and the Spring Valley Cardinals. Then we'll get Coach DeMoe's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then we'll go out to Colfax High School, where we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. All that coming up right after this timeout, as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. Tonight, the Vikings will try to get back on the winning track following their 51-0 loss last week at the hands of the Boyceville Bulldogs. This week, the Vikings will take on the Spring Valley Cardinals. The Vikings come into tonight's game with a record of 1 win and 4 losses. The Cardinals come into tonight's game with a record of 4 wins and 1 loss. They opened the season with a 33-14 loss to the Durand Panthers before stringing wins together against Chautauqua-Weyerhaeuser, Elmwood Plum City, Boyceville, and Glenwood City by an average score of 38-6. Now, the Cardinal defense is allowing an average of just under 200 yards per game rushing, while also giving up an average of 58 yards per game through the air. Defensively, they're led by senior linebacker Tristan Neisiger, who has 39 total tackles, including 3 tackles for loss, as well as senior defensive back Brady Bednarik with 33 total tackles and 3 tackles for loss. On offense, the Cardinals are led by senior quarterback Connor Ducklow, who is completing 61% of his passes this season for 812 yards and 9 touchdowns, and an outstanding quarterback rating of 132. Now, last season, Ducklow only completed 1 pass against the Vikings for 34 yards. Now, this year, he splits his passes between 2 favorite targets, junior Justin Riley and senior Tyler Bowman. The 2 of them combined account for about 146 yards receiving per game. Now, on the ground, the Cardinals pretty much count on a running back by committee formula. They're averaging 216 yards per game on the ground, with 6 players contributing at least 20 yards per game to that total. They're led by the aforementioned Justin Riley, who's averaging 57 yards rushing per game. Now, last week, the Vikings were soundly defeated by the Boyceville Bulldogs, and in spite of that 51-0 score, the Vikings were competitive until you take into account the 5 turnovers the Vikings committed. The other downfall for the Vikings last week was the inability to stop the off-tackle and outside rushing of the Bulldogs. Now, some promising notes for the Vikings were the end-around rushing of Elijah Ensminger, who ran for nearly 80 yards.
Goes in motion. This time Sikora keeps it, pitches it to Ensminger as he goes around the left hand.
And he gets it out to about the 43-yard line, it looks like. And the steady running between the tackles of Aiden McKee, who accounted for 65 yards. And Sminger in motion. Gives straight up the middle to McKee. He's across the 50 into Bulldog territory. First down, Vikings. And the pass receiving of Ensminger and Nick Jensen. Jensen, and a quick pass to Jensen in the slot. He's got a gain of 15 down at the 35-yard line. Now coming up next, I caught up with Coach DeMoe at a practice a little earlier this week, and we'll get his perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Spring Valley Cardinals. All that coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with Coach Matt DeMoe, head coach of the Colfax Vikings. And Coach, well, last week the Vikings seemed to have some difficulty hanging on to the ball against Boyceville. But, you know, in spite of that 51-0 loss, it appeared as though, at least offensively, when the Vikings weren't turning the ball over, they were pretty competitive with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, definitely. We dropped the ball too many times. I think we dropped it 4 times, or interception for them twice, and I think 2 fumbles. Yeah, that definitely really hurt us. That turned into direct points with us, and you know, we did a little bit too much hanging of our heads after we made those mistakes, and you know, that's unacceptable. We have to be able to move past it and play the next play to the best of our ability.
Now, in watching that game, you could see that the Viking defense was trying to contain the outside runs. However, when they did turn the play back inside, it appeared as though the players who were supposed to fill, usually a linebacker or something, seemed to be a little late getting there, and therefore Boyceville ended up with some big runs. Any ideas on how to stop that?
Well, you know, Boyceville's a big, physical, strong team, you know, and we kind of figured they were going to attack the edge. You know, we just did not do a good job of, you know, sitting and flowing downhill with our linebackers and our backside defensive linemen, you know, to make plays. And, you know, we've just kind of gotten back to basics this week at practice on the things that we need to do, you know, up front and doing your job to help our team be successful.
So this week it doesn't get any easier. It's the Spring Valley Cardinals. And, you know, they're sitting on top of the conference. What can you tell us about that matchup?
You know, they're definitely a great team. We watched them play and beat Boyceville pretty handily 2 weeks ago, you know, and then we just struggled with Boyceville. So, you know, Spring Valley gets better as the year goes, and their offense and their option, you know, they get it dialed in pretty well. So, you know, we just have to stay disciplined and doing our job and, you know, try to get some positive things, holding on to the ball.
Now, it seems as though the Cardinals put up some pretty big numbers rushing, but they do it with a running back by committee. Do you have any ideas on how to stop so many weapons?
Well, it starts with the fullback. We got to be able to stop the fullback right away, and then it trickles on out to the quarterback, and then after that, you know, they're wing backs. But when they do that quick toss, you know, they get guys moving, and it's tough to contain them and stop them. So, you know, we got to start from the inside out and contain that before we go to the outside. But, yeah, it's going to be a tall task for the Vikings.
Any updates on injuries or illnesses that we should be aware of?
We have Cameron Molina back. We've still had a couple kids with a little bit of sickness stuff this week, but not really any COVID concerns, so that's a good thing.
Okay, well, thank you, Coach DeMoe, for joining us on Coach's Corner, and good luck in tonight's game. Coming up, more Viking pregame.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. There's more Viking pregame coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
All out on three. 1, 2, 3. All out. 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 1, 2, 3. Bring it down.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
we discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. Tonight, we have the Vikings looking to get back on the winning track after last week's loss to the Boyceville Bulldogs. We also have the Spring Valley Cardinals, who are looking to keep their undefeated conference record intact. Now, the key to tonight's game for the Vikings is to keep the Cardinals' running attack contained. And when they do turn the play inside, to have the linebackers fill to limit the Cardinal rushing attack. In addition, the Viking offense needs to hang on to the ball and limit, if not eliminate, the turnovers. That way, the Vikings may be able to control the clock and keep the powerful Cardinal offense off the field. So it all adds up to some exciting high school football action right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a few moments, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where it's Parents' Night for the football players, and we will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
You've been listening to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings game. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking Football.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Colfax Viking Football is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, proudly presents today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, out to the stadium for coverage of today's Colfax Vikings game.
Here we are at Colfax High School, and we have had a whole season's worth of technical issues tonight. But that's what happens when all of a sudden you finally get to have a game on your home field and you haven't had a chance to work out the bugs. So it's Rick Olson here, Zoe Pitts on the switcher, Dan Petschow is doing emergency duty up on the camera, and we're going to get along as best we possibly can and hopefully get this game to you. We've had all kinds of issues with getting this game on the air, and we finally have it good to go. They're doing the starting lineups. I'll tell you who some of the players are on tonight's game. I'm looking for a thumbs up from Dan. Are these the offensive starters for both teams? Okay, he says yes, they are. So for the Spring Valley Cardinals, we have Caden Rabella, Justin Riley, Connor Ducklow, Colin Anderson, Brady Bednarik, Tristan Neisinger, Walter Holstead, McCaden Parsons, Joel Anderson, Dylan Amott, and Cole Steinmeier. Those are the starters for the Spring Valley Cardinals. For the Vikings, we have Bryce Sikora and Nick Jensen, Elijah Ensminger, Kate Anderson, Asher Pekka, Mark Solberg, Ashton Greenwell, Dylan Hedela, Caleb Arntzen, Cameron Molina coming back finally, and Tristan Lenz. The Vikings will be receiving the opening kickoff. We're waiting for the Spring Valley Cardinals to come out on the field. Back deep for the Vikings. Wouldn't you know, they're not turned in a way I can read the numbers. We have Asher Pekka, and I believe it's Elijah Ensminger. And now they're switching ends. Okay. Everybody was a little confused about what way we were going to go here. That's all right. With as confused as we were getting things ready to go tonight, I'm glad to see we aren't the only ones. All right, getting ready to kick off is Coy Stashik for the Spring Valley Cardinals. Ensminger and Pekka back deep for the Vikings, and we're ready to get underway. The kick is going to come down around the 10-yard line where Pekka gets it. He's across the 20, out to the 25-yard line, and taken down at about the 27 or 28-yard line, and that's where the Vikings will start their first drive. 1st and 10, they're putting it on the 28.
Colfax starts on their own 28-yard line. 1st and 10 Vikings.
Vikings up to the line of scrimmage. They put Ensminger in motion. Pitch to Ensminger coming around the left side, and he gets met near the line of scrimmage. In fact, I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage. Caleb Casey and Connor Ducklow in on that tackle. They're going to say it's a loss of about a yard. 2nd and a long 10. Vikings at the line. Give it up the middle to Pekka. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 11. All right, Vikings at the line of scrimmage. Lenz is split out wide to the left and Sminger to the right. Again, they give it up the middle to Pekka, and he gets a gain of about a yard, maybe 2. It's going to bring up a 4th and 9 for the Vikings. And the punt team comes out. Sikora back in punt formation. There's a snap and the kick. It's a low kick, and it goes out of bounds before it gets to the 50-yard line. He did not hit that one very square. It's going to go out of bounds at the Viking 48-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spring Valley Cardinals. Connor Ducklow at quarterback for Spring Valley. Ducklow with about a 132 quarterback rating. Cardinals come up to the line. They put a man in motion and pitch it to him going around the left side. That's Bednarik, and he gets a corner turn, gets down to about the 35-yard line. Gain of about 15 on the carry. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 34. And the Cardinals come up to the line. Anderson is pulling out to the right side. Give it straight up the middle, and the Vikings right there. Neisinger with the ball. And he gained about a yard. And now we get Dan back. Chris Olson here to do the camera work for us.
Is that better? There we are.
There we go. We just have to turn your mic up a little, that's all.
I know I talk soft, but that was a little too soft.
Yeah. All right, the Cardinals up to the line of scrimmage. Ducklow pitches it out, coming around the right side. That's Riley. Riley in the clear is across the 10 to the 5, and a touchdown, Spring Valley. Justin Riley with a 33-yard touchdown run around the right end. And the Spring Valley Cardinals take a 6-0 lead. Koy Stashik to attempt the extra point. Snap to place the kick, gets up, and it's good. So with 8:52 to go in the first quarter, it's Spring Valley 7 and the Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered it. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
And we're back here at Colfax High School Stashik to kick off for Spring Valley. It's a low kick, and the Vikings fall on it at about the 48-yard line. A little onside kick action. Cardinals trying to slam the door early, it looks like. Falling on the ball was Nick Jensen.
Yeah, good job by Nick Jensen to be aware there. Little sneaky play.
Well, after that quick score, I think that Spring Valley thought, if they could get another one real quick, this game would, as far as they were concerned, would be pretty well over and get the Vikings to start hanging their heads. But instead, the Vikings fall on it and have pretty good field position. Sikora waiting for the snap. Ensminger in motion. They give it straight up the middle. Ball's on the ground, and Spring Valley has it. This was the thing we talked about last week, Dan. They just can't be putting the ball on the ground like this, and Coach DeMoe and I talked about this during Coach's Corner as well.
Yeah, if it becomes a problem here out of the shotgun or the pistol, they'll have to go to right under center, see if we can get a better exchange.
Yeah, and it looked to me as though it was the exchange to the running back, as though the ball was slow getting to the running back, and it went to his hip instead of into his belly. All right, the Cardinals come up to the line. They give it straight up the middle. And getting to the outside is Jackson Stein. Cardinals kind of do a running back by committee. Stein picked up 7, so it's 2nd down 3. It's a long 3. Yeah, their leading running back is only averaging 57 yards a game. All right, Cardinals come up to the line. Ducklow ducks in behind center. Again, giving it up the middle.
Fumble.
And the ball's loose, and it's recovered by the Vikings. I think that might have been Cameron Molina coming up with it. It was Cameron Molina on the recovery, so I guess turnabout's fair play.
Yeah.
So the Vikings have it 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line.
You know, Rick, in my keys for the game that I was going to talk about, that was one of the things. Turnovers.
Well, it's 1-1 on turnovers right now. Ensminger goes in motion. They give it up the middle. Pekka on the carry, and he got back to the line of scrimmage. Aiden McKee into the lineup. Pekka coming out. And the Vikings come up to the line. Len splits out wide to the left, Ensminger to the right. Sikora rolls to his right, looking downfield. Keeps it himself and does not get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose about a yard. 3rd down and 11 for the Vikings. They're back on the 40-yard line. Sikora, one-handed catch by Ensminger, but he got taken down hard just as he crossed the 40. They're going to mark it at the 42-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and a long 9.
Yeah, Connor Ducklow on the tackler for Spring Valley.
It was a nice catch by Ensminger, reaching behind him and pulling it in one-handed. And then he got punished for it. Snap to Sikora, he gets it away. And again, it's off the side of his foot. Pretty short kick. And it's going to be marked way up at the 43-yard line of the Spring Valley Cardinals. And we have a timeout on the field called by Spring Valley. So with 6:03 to go in the first quarter, it's Spring Valley 7 and the Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
September is College Savings Month. Whether you're a new parent or your child's already off to high school, it's a good time to think about the future. Next to retirement planning, paying for your children's education could be the largest expense your family will bear. Dairy State Bank offers a variety of savings accounts, as well as other options that may offer greater return, but with more risk. Give us a call today. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Dairy State Bank.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Want to remind you that coming up next week, NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network will bring you, that's going to be on October, it's going to be October already next Friday.
Man.
They're going to bring you the Vikings going up to Turtle Lake to take on the Turtle Lake Lakers. Coverage on October 1st will begin at 6:40 right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. And we're going to get the Vikings jumping into the neutral zone. And so we have a neutral zone infraction done by the Vikings, and it's going to move it up to the 48-yard line. 1st and 5 for Spring Valley.
You know what the positive is on that? It's only 6 months till golf season.
There you go. Dan could find a positive in a bucket of mud. All right. Spring Valley taking it around the left side. That's Bednarik, and he breaks loose, and he's heading down the sideline and gets tripped up and goes down at about the 6-yard line. He broke a couple tackles out around the 30, and then all of a sudden he was on the loose, and it was a shoestring tackle that took him down. Well, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 16-yard line. So it's 1st and 10, Spring Valley threatening again. It's good to see a nice crowd here at Colfax High School again after last year it was pretty sparse due to COVID. All right, the give straight up the middle, and that's going to be Stein on the carry. And he gets it to about the 15 to 14-yard line, gain of a couple. They're going to say it's on the 13. Cardinals come up to the line. Anderson out wide to the right side. And a quick pitch going around the right end. And we have a penalty marker comes flying in. Carrying it into the end zone was Justin Riley. But I think we're going to get either an illegal block or a hold based on where those flags went flying. And we're waiting to see. It's an illegal block in the back being called against the Cardinals. It's a cool, crisp fall night. Spring Valley ready to run their play, and they aren't done marking the penalty off yet.
This will help Colfax out.
So 10 yards from the previous spot. So it's back on the about the 24-yard line. Quick toss out into the flat. That ball's a backward pass. Gets picked up by Riley. He circles back. He's still looking for a place to run. Vikings have him corralled and take him down at about the 30-yard line. They're going to mark it about the 28-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 4.
Yeah, the pass was just a little high.
And it was, the important thing on that was, and the Vikings recognized it, as did Riley, it was a backward pass. That's a free ball. All right, Cardinals up to the line. Riley now is split out wide to the right. And we have flags calling this one to an end. The pass was out to Anderson. Quick toss out to Anderson. We have a false start being called on the Cardinals. They're going backwards now. It's going to take it out to the 34-yard line. They've got to get down to about the 6. So it's going to be 3rd down, and, well, if my math is doing right, it's 3rd and about 28. All right, Cardinals at the line. Riley coming around the right side this time and knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down and a long way to go.
Aiden McKee on the tackle for Colfax.
They're going to mark it on the 23-yard line. So 4th and 17. Cardinals come up to the line. Ducklow waiting for the snap. Drops back, looking downfield. Throws to the right side, and it can't bring it in. It's Colin Anderson is the intended receiver. And the pass falls harmlessly to the ground, and the ball goes over on downs to the Vikings.
Yeah, good pass there. Just got over the wrong shoulder. Not sure how picky they are in high school football, but there was a little shove off there by
a little
19.
bit. Sometimes that doesn't get called, I noticed. Ensminger in motion. Sikora rolls to the right, looking downfield. Throws a short one to McKee, and he gets it across the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 2, maybe. I checked that. That was to Cade Anderson. So 2nd down 8 for the Vikings. Lentz splitting out wide to the left, Ensminger to the right. No, check that. Ensminger's in the slot on the left. Ensminger in motion. Give straight up the middle. Not a whole lot there. That was McKee on the carry. No gain. 3rd down 8.
And McKee averaging 5.6 yards per game.
Or per carry.
Per carry.
Yes.
Yes, not per game.
Yeah, he's had some decent games. He's doing a little better than 5.8 per game. All right, up to the line come the Vikings. Ensminger in motion. Sikora rolls to the left, looking to get rid of it. Keeps it himself, gets taken down out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. It's going to be a gain of maybe a couple. 4th and about 6. So Sikora back in punt formation. I think it's Ducklow back. I can't see his number. There, he finally got a kick going the right way. That is Ducklow. He gets it out across the 50 down to the 45-yard line. There is a penalty marker back by the kicker. They're going to mark it at the 43-yard line of the Vikings. Illegal procedure, illegal formation against the Vikings. I'm sure Spring Valley's probably going to decline that because they have it in pretty good field position on the Viking 43. It's an illegal formation against the Vikings, and that penalty's declined. So it will be 1st down for Spring Valley at the Viking 43. I suspect somebody was not on the line that was supposed to be on the line. Got to have 7 up there.
Good to see Cameron Molina back in the lineup.
Yeah, he's had a tough time between tweaking his knee and then he ended up with some COVID, and now he's back ready to play. Spring Valley at the line, they have a slot formation on the left. Give straight up the middle, and not much doing there. Viking defensive line, that interior defensive line doing a nice job. Nick Jensen leading the way on that one. Nick Jensen and Cameron Molina, 2 pretty stout figures right up the middle. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, the front 4 for Colfax is a tough line.
It's one of the better features of the Viking defense. That interior line Cardinals at the line. Quick pitch around the left end. Almost tripped up in the backfield. He gets the corner turned. It's Bednarik, and he gets run out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. I think they're going to mark it on the 34.
Elijah Insminger on the tackle.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 1. And we have a timeout being called by the Vikings. So we have a timeout on the field with 1:20 to go in the first quarter. And it's Spring Valley 7, Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When your lawn is looking less than desirable, you need to give it a little pick-me-up. Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. With their Morning Sun Fertilizer, your lawn will get just what it needs. Morning Sun Fertilizer is non-chemical and organic. It's suitable for both urban and rural settings. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 715-586-1302 for a free estimate. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, beautifying the lawns of the Chippewa Valley.
Back here at Colfax High School, Spring Valley with the ball. 1:20 to go in the first quarter. They're ahead 7-0. Low snap to Ducklow, picks it up between his feet, keeps it himself, and he's across the line of scrimmage, across the first down, and finally taken down at about the 24-yard line.
Ducklow on the carry for Spring Valley.
So 1st and 10. And they are going to put it right on the 24 for the Cardinals.
Colfax did a good job last week turning the offense back to the inside, but tonight Spring Valley's getting out on the edges. You got to clean that up.
Cardinals at the line. Pitch to Riley, coming around the right side, and he's knocked down at the 10-yard line.
Riley on the carry, tackled by McKee.
McKee on the tackle. And 1st and 10. Actually, they're going to say 1st and goal. The nose of the football is across the 10-yard line. Spring Valley coming up to the line. And they give up the middle, and nothing going there. Ball was carried by Stein.
On the carry, tackled by McKee.
Colfax has to stand strong right now.
Spring Valley up to the line. Give up the middle and into the end zone with it. No, they're going to say he's down at about the 6-inch line. And that's the end of the first quarter. That was, by the way, Neisinger on the carry. And so we've completed one quarter. Spring Valley 7 and threatening, and the Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
High school football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on Friday, October 1st, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Turtle Lake to take on the Turtle Lake Lakers. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking Football on Friday, October 1st on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings. Getting ready to start the second quarter. Vikings trailing 7-0. Spring Valley on about the half-yard line. And a give up the middle into the end zone. It appears to be Steen. Oh, check that. That was Neisinger. It's hard to tell the difference between a 28 and a 20 from our vantage point. That makes it 13-0. Stashek to try the extra point. Snap, the place, the kick is on the way and it's good. That makes it Spring Valley 14 and the Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Customer-owned, community-minded, Synergy Co-op. Our reputation has always been true. We take pride in serving you. When you're a customer, you're the company, always a part of one big family. Customer-owned, community-minded, Synergy Co-op.
Hey, and this reminder that coming up on Tuesday, the Viking volleyball team is going to travel to Boyceville to take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. Action's going to start at 7 o'clock, and then on, I think that's Thursday, the girls will host Spring Valley with action in the Colfax High School gym starting at 7 p.m. Spring Valley kicking off to the Vikings. Stashek to kick it. A short pop-up taken there by one of the up men, and he got thumped pretty good at about the 37 or 38 yard line. And it was Ashton Greenwell who finally, he gets a return. Look at that, he's going to show up in the kick return stats.
This is a critical period for Colfax. They got to do something.
They've got to at least get a first down. All right, Vikings up to the line. Sikora still at quarterback. McKee at the setback. Give to McKee. No. Gave it to Ensminger going around the end, and he's going to pick up about 5 yards. Kind of slow getting up was Dylan Hedela, but he appears no worse for wear. 2nd and 5 for the Vikings. All right, Vikings up to the line. Ensminger split out wide to the left. Lenz to the right. Sikora keeps it himself straight up the middle, gets it across the 35, or the 45. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3. That pretty much looked like a designed run for Sikora. Ensminger in the slot on the left. Jensen split out wide to the right. Ensminger in motion. Give to McKee. He's driving.
It's going to be close.
He's going to be a little bit short. It's going to be 4th and about a yard to go. Looks like it's 4 down territory for the Vikings.
It'd be a little risky, Rick. But I'd like to see a play action.
Well, the old adage is if you can't gain a yard, you don't belong on the field anyway. They better gain a yard here. All right, Vikings at the line. Sikora waiting for the snap. Ensminger in motion. Sikora keeps it, rolls out. He's in trouble in the backfield. Now he turns the left corner. He's got the first down and across the 50-yard line. Well, he took the scenic route to get that yard, but he got it for sure. They're going to mark it right on the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at midfield.
Yeah, good hustle there.
Well, when he rolled out to the right, he was surrounded by a bunch of white jerseys and in a lot of trouble. Turned it around, went around the left side, and found a path there to get the first down. All right, Vikings at the line. Sikora in the pistol. Drops back, looking downfield. He's under pressure, steps up, and gets taken down for a sack. Back at about the 47-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 3, 2nd and 13. All right, Vikings at the line. Sikora pitches to McKee, coming around the right side, and he loses the ball. That ball squirted right out of his hands and right into the chest of a Spring Valley Cardinal. I believe that it squirted right into the chest of Jack Madison, and
he comes off holding his shoulder. 28.
But the Cardinals have it first down at their own 47. Cardinals leading the Vikings 14-0.
We'll have to keep an eye on Aiden McKee. Trainer's checking him over.
Give up the middle. Still keeping his feet going. Doesn't want to go down. That's Steen. Gain of about 6. 2nd down, 4. They're putting it on the Viking 47.
Gain of 6 on the play, 2nd and 4.
Cardinals come up to the line. They've got a wing on the left who goes in motion. Dropping straight back is Ducklow. Looks down in the flat. He's got his receiver, goes down at about the 27-yard line.
Asher Peck on the tackle.
Brady Bednarik was the receiver. So it'll be first down for Spring Valley. They're marking it inside the 30, about the 29-yard line is where they're going to put it. 1st and 10. Cardinals come up to the line. Steen in the backfield. Ducklow in the pistol. Puts a man in motion. Ducklow keeps it himself, going straight up the middle, and he gets it to about the 21 or 22. It's going to be a gain of about 7. 2nd down and 3 yards to go. All right, up to the line of scrimmage come the Cardinals. They give it to Riley going around the right side on a little counter action. He takes it into the end zone for a Spring Valley touchdown. That'll make the score Spring Valley 20 and the Vikings 0. They ran that little counter action. Everything looked like it was going left, and they gave it to Riley coming back through, going to the right.
Yeah,
He had all the Vikings flowing to the left side.
Vikings got to make sure they turn the runner back in.
They got to make sure they see the ball. Stashik to kick the extra point, and it's good. So, with 7:02 to go in the first half, it's the Spring Valley Cardinals 21 and the Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Stashik hits it, a low liner, picked up by one of the upbacks. And I believe that was McKee on the return. Gets it out across the 30 to about the 33, 34-yard line.
Good to see Aiden out back out there.
So Vikings ball 1st and 10. It does answer your question about McKee's shoulder, though.
Right. Yeah, I must just got a punch or something.
All right, Vikings up to the line. And Sminger in motion. Give up the middle. No, Sikora kept it himself.
Sikora on the carry for the Vikings, tackled by Eisinger.
And Sikora got a little less than a yard. We'll stay 2nd and 10. All right, Vikings at the line. Ensminger splitting out wide to the right. Sikora drops back, throws it over the middle to Ensminger, and he's got it. Goes down at the 44. It's close to a first down, but there is a penalty marker on the play.
Defensive holding.
Ineligible receiver downfield against the Vikings. This has a lot of the same flavor as the game last week. Is just as the Vikings start to do things good, disaster comes and slaps them.
They got to take care of the ball.
So 2nd down and 15 for the Vikings. Spring Valley coming with a blitz. Sikora rolling out to the right, looking downfield, keeps it himself, gets it up to about the 35-yard line where he steps out of bounds. They're going to say a gain of 4. 3rd and 11. Len splits out wide to the right. Ensminger in the slot on the right.
Blitz coming.
Quick throw to Jensen. He's got it at the 50-yard line. There's that quick slant to Jensen again. That's been one of the more effective pass plays for the Vikings all season. I'm kind of surprised they haven't gone to it more.
Yeah, Colin Anderson for Spring Valley is all over him. Good catch.
But Nick Jensen's a big target. He's got good hands. And Sikora delivered a strike on that one. Len splitting out wide on the right side, and Sminger on the left. Vikings trying to get themselves set. There's a snap. Quick pass. That time to Lenz, and he's got it down around the 35-yard line. They're going to put it on the 36, but another first down for the Vikings.
Good route there for Lenz.
That's pretty much the same route they ran with Jensen, that quick slant. All right, Vikings back up to the line. Lenz on the right, and Sminger in the slot, Jensen on the left. Score drops back, throws it out in the flat to Pekka, and it's incomplete, and we do have a penalty flag coming in, thrown in the area where it's usually holding. Oh, a crackback block, or blocking below the waist against the Vikings. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a 15-yarder. Yes, it is a 15-yard penalty. Takes it back into Viking territory at the 49-yard line. First down and 25 for the Vikings. And the Vikings call timeout. They weren't sure where they were supposed to be lined up. It sure looked like Cade Anderson was a little confused. But with a timeout on the field, 4:38 to go in the first half, it's Spring Valley 21, Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced House Hunter. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
First and 25 for the Vikings at their own 49-yard line. Sikora drops back, looking downfield. Quick toss out into the flat to McKee, a little bit out of his reach. It's going to bring up 2nd and 25.
Good idea. Just a little high for McKee.
Neisiger was out there on the coverage along with Colin Anderson for Spring Valley. They did read the play. McKee would have got a gain, but it still wouldn't have earned back the penalty that was late earlier. And Sminger in motion. Give straight up the middle, McKee. He gets just across the line of scrimmage. Gain of about a yard. They're going to give him 2 yards. They're down in 23.
Gain of 2 on the
Vikings come up to the line. Len splits out wide to the right, and Sminger in the slot on the right. Anderson tight on the right. Sikora rolling to the right. Keeps it himself, tucks it, gets run out of bounds, and goes over the bench. And landed right on the concrete, right behind the bench. He's going to have a gain of about 2 yards. Be 4th and 21 for the Vikings.
Looks like they're going to go for it.
Sikora's going into punt formation.
Nope.
Ducklow back deep for Spring Valley. Snap. The kick, a low end over end. Gets past Ducklow. It's going to roll in at about the 5. The Vikings are down there, but Ducklow picks it up. He's out across the 20 and knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Connor Ducklow on the return. Ducklow, the 190-pound senior, he's also the tallest guy out there for Spring Valley, so he's got a good view, able to pick out his receivers nicely. He's a good head taller than everybody else on the team.
Yeah, we've got to see him kind of grow over the last few years.
Right, he's been there. All right, Cardinals at the line. Ducklow ducks in under center, and Molina stepped across the line and made contact. So that makes it real easy. 1st and 5 for Spring Valley. 3:32 to go in the first half. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we have a Viking profile coming up for you. We're going to get to know Nick Jensen in the Viking profile. And then we have the Colfax High School report. And I apologize to you folks. Cameron Molina jumped across the line, but he was enticed to do so by the offensive line of Spring Valley. And I think Molina thought the penalty was on him too, and he just crossed himself and pointed to the heavens saying, "Thank you." Cardinals come up to the line. Dropping straight back as Ducklow looks out in the flat. He's got Riley, and Riley is off and running. He's across the 30 down to the 20, 10-5, and it's a touchdown for Spring Valley. That's going to be an 82-yard touchdown. Pass from Ducklow to Riley, and that'll make it 27-0.
And Riley has some wheels.
Yeah, he just pulled away from everybody. Stashek to try the extra point. The snap to place the kick. And it's good. It just snuck up inside that right upright. So 3:19 to go in the first half. It's Spring Valley 28 and the Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Back here at Colfax High School. Nice, cool, crisp evening for football. We had a little rain this afternoon, kind of slicked some things up, made some wet seats here in the bleachers. Stashek to kick off. This time he sends one deep. Vikings on the return. They get it out across the 35, near the 40-yard line.
Good return for Colfax.
Pekka on the return. And they're going to mark it at the 39 or right near the 40. I think the nose of the football might actually be on the 40. It is. So 1st and 10 for the Vikings on their own 40-yard line. You know, they showed some signs of life in that last drive. Jensen split out wide to the right. Len split wide to the left. Sikora throws it into the slot to Ensminger, who went down and caught it and then lost his footing. So it's a gain of only about a yard, 2nd down 9. Vikings come up to the line. This time Lenz is coming out wide to the right. Ensminger in the slot on the right. Anderson is on the wing on the right. Jensen on the left. Anderson goes in motion. Sikora drops back, looks downfield, and there was a mix-up on that route. I think Anderson was supposed to continue deep, and he cut off his pattern. And the ball fell to the ground at about the 40-yard line.
Which is too bad, because he had his guy beat.
He did. He had his man beat. Tonight is Parents' Night here at Colfax.
I thought they were all going to the concession stand.
And the Vikings give, or Sikora hands it to somebody, and I'm not sure who he gave it to. There was a big hole up the middle that they didn't give it to. They get it back to the 40-yard line, so it's a loss of about a yard, 4th and 10, and a timeout called by Spring Valley. So with 2:17 to go in the first half, 28-0 is the score. You're tuned to Viking Football and Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
All right, we're back here at Colfax High School. Fourth and 10. Sikora back in punt formation. Ducklow back to receive. Low line kick. Picked up by Ducklow. Heading back upfield across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Spring Valley at that point.
Okay. Colfax needs a big stop here. Something to go in to halftime with. Somebody needs to make a big play. Gabbard Molina. Somebody on the inside. They need a little pressure.
Fumble loose or something. Yes.
They need to get to the quarterback.
Cause a sack. All right, Spring Valley up to the line. Ducklow ducks in under center. Rolls out to the left. Throws it downfield. He's got his receiver. That's complete to Colin Anderson, and he's across the 40 of the Vikings to about the 38-yard line, 39-yard line, and it'll be 1st down. Ducklow showing why he's got a quarterback rating of 132.
If the receiver can get a little separation,
he puts the ball where he wants it to be. Up to the line come the Cardinals, dropping straight back. Ducklow looking downfield. He's got Riley. He's got it caught and steps out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Justin Riley with the reception.
Good pass by Ducklow there. Just a little off.
Nope, they're saying he was out of bounds when he caught it. And to be honest with you, Dan, I'm glad they don't have instant replay because I was pretty sure he caught that inbounds and then stepped out. But
yeah, high school's 1 foot, right?
1 foot. All right, Cardinals at the line. And we have a whistle. And the Vikings call a timeout. Hey, I want to remind you also that on Thursday, the cross-country teams are headed over to Spring Valley to compete in the 9-team Spring Valley Invitational. Action starts at 4:15 p.m. over at Spring Valley. The cross-country girls were running today at the Gryak Invitation over at the University of Minnesota. That's a huge event, both high school and collegiate, and different levels within that. There's Division I collegiate and Division II and III collegiate, both men's and women's, and then boys high school and girls high school, and I think that's also by division. It's a huge event, and Colfax girls were running at that today. We don't have any results yet, but Riley takes it around the right end for Spring Valley. He's down around the 20, still on his feet to the 10, and knocked down at about the 2-yard line. Justin Riley, something about him getting past the 2-yard line. It looks like they're going to mark it at about the 4, actually. First and goal for Spring Valley.
Clock continues to run.
Coming up on a minute to go in the half. Cardinals up to the line. Ducklow gives it straight up the middle, drives forward. Taken down at about the 1-yard line.
See if they call a timeout.
Is Jackson Steen on the carry. So second down and goal from about the 1. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Anderson is split out wide to the left. Quick pitch this time going around the left side and into the end zone is Brady Bednarik.
He did get it. I thought his knees were down before he crossed, but
that touchdown makes the score Spring Valley 34 and the Vikings 0. Stashek ready to kick the extra point. And it goes up, and it's good. So with 26 seconds remaining in the first half, the score, Spring Valley Cardinals 35 and the Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Stashak, he's going to end up walking with a limp with as many times as he's had to kick off today. Getting ready to kick off for Spring Valley. He approaches the ball. Low line drive kick, heading for the sideline. Vikings pick it up. Well, they fall on it at about the 22-yard line. So it'll be the Vikings' ball. 1st and 10. It's on that far side of the field, and there's quite a crowd here on the field at Colfax. And on the other side, it's hard to see the lines do on the field. Do to the do.
Do to the do.
All right, Jensen splits out wide to the right side. Lenz on the left. Gives straight up the middle, and there's nothing happening there. McKee on the carry. That's probably the last play of the half.
McKee on the carry for the Vikings.
And it's going to be. So that brings us to halftime. And coming up at half, we will have the Viking Profile and Colfax High School Report. And that's all coming up right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today we're talking with Nick Jensen, a junior here at Colfax High School. And Nick, we know that you play football, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I play basketball and I am in track.
So when did you start playing football, and what kind of an experience has it been?
I would say I started about 3rd grade playing flag football, and I'd say I've always loved it.
And what's the most important thing that you've learned from playing football?
Always go hard and never back down to any challenges.
Okay, so when you're not playing football or you're not here at school, what are some other things that interest you or keep you occupied?
I work at the farm every day, so that keeps me busy.
It would. Yeah, there's no rest for people on the farm. All right, I've got some rapid fire questions for you. Just hit the first thing that comes into your head. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Which kind?
Chocolate chip.
Oh my goodness. Ford, Chevy, or another brand?
Chevy.
Okay. Favorite NFL team?
Packers.
And favorite college team?
Badgers.
Now, Nick, if you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
Probably super strength, so I could literally do anything.
Okay. We're talking with Nick Jensen on Viking Profile. And Nick, you've got a year to go yet, but what are your plans for after high school?
Most likely go to River Falls for agricultural business.
Okay. How about a shout out to your family?
I'd like to thank my mom and dad for always being nice, supporting me in my games, and always doing what they can to help me. I don't know.
Well, when people come to Viking games, what number do you wear and what position do you play?
I am number 8, and I play tight end to defensive end.
Okay, we want to thank Nick Jensen for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Time now for the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
The athletics at Colfax High School have remained quite busy this past week. Last week, Thursday, the Colfax Elk Mound girls competed at the Princeton Valley Golf Club, where they placed third overall with a team score of 218. Low scorers were Olivia Klickner with a 50 and Emma Nichaniki with a 51. Then on Tuesday, the Colfax Elk Mound girls golf team traveled to the Osseo Golf Club to take on Mondovi, Osseo Fairchild Regis, and Stanley Boyd. Low rounds for Colfax Elk Mound were scored by Olivia Klickner with a 51 and Ella Reese with a 59. Yesterday, the girls traveled to Halley Golf Course for their conference golf tournament. We'll have the results of that match in next week's Colfax High School report. Last week, Thursday, the Colfax volleyball team defeated Mondovi 3-0. Then on Saturday, the volleyballers traveled to Hudson to compete in the 8-team Hudson Volleyball Invitational. The Vikings ran into some tough competition during their matches to Hudson and Superior by identical 2-0 scores before losing to Prescott 2-1. The girls got back on the winning track on Tuesday by defeating Durand 3-1. The girls currently have 2 wins and 0 loss record in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, and they are 8-7 and 1 overall. On Tuesday, the Colfax cross-country teams traveled to Mondovi. Top finishers for the boys were Ashton Yarrington, who finished 9th overall with a time of 19 minutes 31.5 seconds, and Luke Blanchard, who finished 14th with a time of 20 minutes 20.3 seconds. For the girls, the top Viking runner was Molly Heidorn, who placed 5th with a time of 21 minutes 56.1 seconds, and Jasmine Best placing 8th with a time of 23 minutes 3.3 seconds. Yesterday, the boys went to Durand, and today the girls are running at the Gryak Invitational at the University of Minnesota. We'll have the results of those 2 events in next week's Colfax High School report. Coming up this week, on Tuesday, the volleyball team will travel to Boyceville to take on the Bulldogs, and then they will host the Spring Valley Cardinals on Thursday. Action in both matches gets underway at 7 p.m. On Thursday, the cross-country teams will head over to Spring Valley to compete in the 9-team Spring Valley Invitational. Action starts at 4:15 p.m. Finally, next Friday, the Viking football team will travel to Turtle Lake to take on the Turtle Lake Lakers. We will have all the action for that one for you on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and audio service and NLWN-TV. In other school news, start making your plans to attend this year's parent-teacher conferences, which will be held next Monday and Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School.
You've been tuned to the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is more Viking halftime and then second half action.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Nice crowd here. Enjoying the halftime festivities. They had a nice introduction of all the parents with their sons for Parents' Day.
Yeah, this is a good crowd tonight.
Well, and considering what we were dealing with last year, this is a huge crowd. And a few of them, they may still be down at the concession stand and so on, but a few people may have left after halftime. Vikings have their work cut out for them. I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dan, but I think right now the main goal is make something positive happen.
Yeah. Colfax has had moments. They did a good job, ball control first quarter. I noticed by about 3-4 minutes into the second quarter, there was starting to be some hands on the hips. You know, some of these players are trying to go both directions, offense and defense. So, you know, it's tough for a team that has to do that. You know, your players get a little burned out.
Yeah, it's a lot of the guys going both ways. And, of course, Spring Valley has the same situation. Their guys are going both ways as well. The squads are similar in size as far as number of players. Vikings should be kicking off to start the second half. As the fans are starting to file back in.
Yeah, Spring Valley is the real deal for a team this year. So they're a team to watch here coming up in the playoffs and possibly going to state. Duckwell for Spring Valley has a great arm.
Yeah, he puts the ball where he wants it to be, and lo and behold, that's where it goes. All right, the Vikings. Why am I getting... Oh, I know why. There we go. Had to get rid of the echo. Anyway, the Vikings kick it off, picked up by the Cardinals at about the 20-yard line. He gets it out to about the 40 and taken down at about the 41 or 42-yard line. On the return was Justin Riley. Pekka on the tackle. And they're going to mark it on the 41. 1st and 10. Want to thank Chris Olson for his emergency work on the camera. We've gotten that taken care of. We now have Jeff Gust on the camera. A little better vantage point as well. They give it straight up the middle. Oh, the ball got loose, but he was ruled down. Ball was carried by Neisinger and taken down at the 45-yard line. They're going to put it right on the 45. 1st and 10, Spring Valley. We should be in running time since it is a 35-point difference. Spring Valley comes up to the line. Bednarik splits out wide to the right. Steen in the backfield. Give it to Steen straight up the middle. Oh, not much happening there. Again, that defensive line of the Vikings is a pretty tough defensive line. We're going to say no gain. Second down 10.
Yeah, Ashton Greenwell, Mark Solberg, Cameron Molina.
And Nick Jensen out there at the defensive end. Up to the line come the Cardinals. Ducklow tosses it around the right end. Across the 40, down to about the 36-yard line is Neisinger. And they're going to mark it, looks like about the 36. So third and a long yard.
Elijah Entsman on the tackle for Colfax.
Cardinals come up to the line. They got wings on both sides and split out, and a receiver split out wide to the left.
Fumble.
Ball's loose on the ground. Who came up with it? I think Ducklow fell on it. He did, and it's going to bring up a fourth down. It was right at the line of scrimmage, so fourth and a long yard. Neisinger comes into the huddle with the play. Neisinger lined up at tailback. Cardinals at the line, two wings. Ducklow takes it himself. He gets it across the 35 down to about the 34. It's good enough for a first down.
Ducklow on the carry for Spring Valley.
Good push by the Spring Valley front four.
Heedle a little slow to get up. Cardinals come up to the line. Quick toss around the left end. Bednarik with it across the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. They're going to mark it right on the 20.
Colfax had him. They made him cut back to the inside, but found a way
mark
through.
it on the 19-yard line. First and 10. Bednarik out wide to the right. Riley to the left. Riley goes in motion, but they give it off tackle on the right side. Neisinger on the carry. Gets it down to about the 15 or the 16. Gain of 3, second down 7. Aiden McKee in on the tackle. Cardinals up to the line. Neisinger split out wide. Quick toss to Riley going around the right end. He's across the 10 down to the 5 into the end zone. And a touchdown for Spring Valley. That'll make it 41-0 Spring Valley on top. Stashik in to attempt the extra point. Here's a snap and the kick. It's on the way, and it's good. That makes a score. Spring Valley 42, and the Vikings nothing. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson, Dan Petchow, Zoe Pitts on the switcher today. We had a little substitute help from Chris Olson in the first half. Jeff Gust on the camera now. And all's right with the world. Stashik getting ready to kick off for the Vikings. And there's his kick. It's coming down to Ensminger. Ensminger across the 25 gets tripped up. He was tripped up at about the 28-yard line, so the Vikings will have it 1st and 10 at that point.
See if Colfax makes any changes here. They kind of just stick with the game plan. And
Sikora at quarterback, takes a snap, pitches it around the left side, and that's McKee, and good pursuit that time by Spring Valley as they take him down for a loss of a yard, almost 2 yards. 2nd and 12.
52, Walter Osted on the tackle for Spring Valley.
145-pound junior. Scorer drops back, rolls out to the right, looking downfield, gets rid of it, ball gets batted down. It was intended for Jensen. And it got batted away right before it got to Jensen. Good defensive play. 3rd down 12. I'll tell you what, Dan, I'm pretty impressed with this Spring Valley team. They're solid offensively, good speed, quarterback who can throw the ball, and defensively they pursue. They're where they need to be.
Yeah, they're the real deal.
Run that 4-4. Sikora keeps it, gets it up to about the line of scrimmage. Maybe got one. It's going to bring up 4th and 11. Viking total offense today has been pretty much non-existent with the exception of one drive where they put together a string of some pretty good passes. But Spring Valley's pretty stingy at allowing the Vikings to run the ball. Sikora in punt formation, low snap. He gets it away just barely. Meisinger with it, heads it over to the left side, across the 40 to the 35 to the 30, and gets dragged down, and we're going to get a penalty, and I think it's going to be for a horse collar tackle down at about the 22-yard line. I think they're going to get the Vikings for a horse collar. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's reaching up. And it's a personal foul, horse collar tackle. So that should be, I I believe, a half the distance to the goal from where they are. They're going to mark it from the 22, so it should go down to about the 11-yard line. And that's where they put it. So 1st and 10 for Spring Valley from the 11. And they come up to the line of scrimmage. And give up the middle. It's a new running back in the game, Trevor Forster. Trevor Forster.
Forrester on the carry for Spring Valley.
And he gained a couple. 2nd down 8. We have some other new players coming in for Spring Valley. Cade Stashik, Caden Robella. New quarterback in there. Caden Robella at quarterback. Give up the middle, and there's nothing there. That was Forrester with it again. He might have got a yard. Third down and a long 7, short 8. Quick pitch around the right end, heading for the end zone, and a touchdown. That's Diego Schmidt on the carry for Spring Valley. And Dan, I'm trying to tell if that's a 5 or a 6 at quarterback. That's number 5, so take that back. That's Cade Stashik at quarterback for Spring Valley. At any rate, the touchdown makes it 48-0 Spring Valley with 1:13 to go in the third quarter. And Coy Stashik to try the extra point out of the hold of Connor Ducklow. Snap place kick is up, and it's good. So that makes it Spring Valley 49, Vikings 0, 1:13 to go in the third quarter, and you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
All right, the Cardinals getting ready to kick off to the Vikings. A new kicker for Spring Valley, Jamison Bauer, is getting ready to kick off. He approaches, swings the leg. Comes down at about the 23 where McKee has it. He gets it across the 40, keeps the legs going, and gets out to about the 43-yard line. Aiden McKee gets it out to decent field position for the Vikings on the 43, 1st and 10.
After the kickoff, Colfax takes over at their own 43-yard line. 1st and 10 Vikings.
All right, Vikings at the line. And Sminger goes in motion. And we have a penalty marker. This is going to be an illegal motion on the Vikings. A false start.
See if it's the last play of the quarter.
That probably will be. Well, Vikings come right back up on the ball. Sikora keeps it, pitches it to Ensminger around the right end. Ensminger gets it out to the 50-yard line, taken out of bounds in Spring Valley territory at about the 49-yard line, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. So we've got 3 quarters in the books. It's Spring Valley 49 and the Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
By your life. Pleasant Valley Properties provides affordable housing and homes in communities in Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. They have staff available to help you locate a home that best meets your needs and desires, as well as service staff that maintains the properties. Contact Pleasant Valley Properties at 715-226-6200. Call today and let them help you get into the home of your dreams. That's Pleasant Valley Properties, 301 Grammar Avenue in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380. And we're back here getting ready to start the fourth quarter. Vikings trailing 49-0. They have the ball in Spring Valley territory. Give straight up the middle. This is McKee. He breaks through and gets it down to the 41-yard line. That's the best run by Aiden McKee tonight. That quick hitter right up the middle.
Good job by the Colfax front four.
Gain of 7 on the play is enough for a Vikings. First down.
All right, Vikings up to the line. And again, the give to McKee. It was kind of a high handoff, but McKee got it and struggled across the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. Gain of 3, second down 7.
Tackled by Robelia.
They're going to mark it at about the 39, but it's still second and 7. Ensminger split wide to the right. Lenz is out to the left. Sikora keeps it himself, cuts it up off tackle. He's got it down to about the 36-yard line, 37-yard line. Gain of a couple. Third down 5.
Gain of 2 on the play, 3rd and 5.
I tell you, folks, it's nice having Dan around here. Brings up a thing of hot chocolate. It was a good night for it tonight, Dan.
Yeah, it hits the spot.
Sikora, a quick pass, and it gets knocked down. That time it was batted down by Jamison Bauer. It was that quick slant that was intended for Jensen, but Bauer got his big paws up there and knocked it down. 4th down 5. This is 4-down territory for the Vikings. Sikora in the pistol. McKee off to his right. Sikora drops back, throws it out into the right flat for McKee. It's incomplete. Off his hands, and the ball goes over on downs to Spring Valley.
Spring Valley takes over on downs, 1st and 10.
Yeah, even if he would have caught that, he probably wouldn't have made it.
No, I don't think so. There was a lot of white between him and the first down line, or the line to gain, I guess is what we call it now. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Cade Stashik at quarterback. They come up to the line. The setback is Trevor Forster, and we have a whistle. And the Vikings line up offside. So it'll be 1st and 5 for Spring Valley. And the Cardinals are at the line. They put a man in motion, give straight up the middle to Forrester, and he gets met right at the line of scrimmage. All down there by Nick Jensen.
Forrester on the carry.
He gained a yard, we're going to say, so it's going to be 2nd and 4. Spring Valley up to the line, putting a guy in motion. Stashik pitches and he gets taken down in the backfield. Diego Schmidt getting the pitch coming around the left end, and the Vikings close that down quickly. Brings up 3rd and 8.
Loss of 3 on the play, 3rd and 8.
Now the Cardinals come up to the line. Forrester the setback. Stashik under center. Pitch to Schmidt going around the right end. He's got the corner turn. He's got the 1st down. And hauled down around the 50. I think they're going to mark it right on the 50-yard line, but it'll be a 1st down for Spring Valley.
Tackled by Caleb Hudson.
Yeah, good job by the Spring Valley blockers to get down the field. Help them pick up the 1st down.
And sealing that corner.
Yeah, we talked about that, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. That Colfax had to try to keep them off the edges and bring them back inside.
Yeah, they did not do it that time. Cardinals come up to the line. Everything in tight. Put a man in motion, but give it to Forrester. He finds a hole off the left side and gets a gain of about 7, down to about the 43-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd down 3.
Forrester on the carry.
If the
game 7 on the play, 2nd and 3.
The red ones. I'll give it the same. Spring Valley takes it around the right end. That's Schmidt again, and he gets it down near the 30-yard line. I think he's a little shy of that, but it's enough for a 1st down. Looks like they're going to put it at about the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 for Spring Valley. First and 10 for the Spring Valley Cardinals. We're in a running clock situation as the Cardinals are leading the Vikings 49-0. Cardinals come up to the line of scrimmage. And we have penalty markers fly. Delay a game against Spring Valley.
That is a delay of game against Spring Valley.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Dan, we've had a few running time games in the last couple of years, and every school does it differently. I was under the impression, and I could be wrong about this, that in running time, when there is a penalty, the clock is still supposed to stop. It hasn't tonight. And I was under the impression it was supposed to. Makes it tough for us to service our sponsors. Stashik keeps it himself, tries the left side, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Inside 3.5 to go in the game. They're going to say he lost a yard. Second down, 16.
Colfax's front four of their defense is still fighting. Good job by Cameron Molina.
I was going to say, we've been calling his name quite a bit tonight, Cameron Molina. He's had a pretty good game. In spite of the score, he's had a decent game. Give straight up the middle, and again, Cameron Molina just pulls him backwards. Did not let him get to the line of scrimmage or right. That's as far as he got.
Forrester on the carry for Spring Valley, tackled by Harder. No gain on the play, 3rd and 16.
Third down, 16 yards to go for Spring Valley. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Stashik keeps it himself, and Vikings come swarming through, take him down in the backfield, all the way back at the 45-yard line. Back at, well, they're going to mark it at the 43-yard line, loss of about 5. It's going to bring 4th and 20.
Again, Cameron Molina there to bust up that play.
Quick pitch around the left side. This is Schmidt again. He's still on his feet. He's got the first down. He's down inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Diego Schmidt getting that corner turned, and that left side of the Viking defensive line just has no answer, cannot turn that play in.
Yeah, they had him and kept his feet driving.
Cardinals come up to the line. And they give up the middle. No, he kept it himself. I thought Stashik gave it to Forrester, but he kept it himself and went around the right end. He got it down inside the 15 to about the 13, and that should do it. That'll be the last play of the game. So the final score, Spring Valley Cardinals 49 and the Vikings 0. We'll be back with Viking postgame right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
September is College Savings Month. Whether you're a new parent or your child's already off to high school, it's a good time to think about the future. Next to retirement planning, paying for your children's education could be the largest expense your family will bear. Dairy State Bank offers a variety of savings accounts, as well as other options that may offer greater return, but with more risk. Give us a call today. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 715-586-1302. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Come and join me on Halloween night as the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV bring you a Halloween Party 2021. We will bring you a selection of the finest in Halloween old-time radio broadcasts, and we'll cap it all off with the classic War of the Worlds starring Orson Welles. That's Halloween night on both the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV starting at 7 p.m. I'll see you then.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future.
Stand is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
This has been Colfax Viking Football, live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network in conjunction with Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame, where I'll look back at today's game.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with our wrap-up of today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, back out to the stadium.
And Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. And we're back here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings have dropped one 49-0. It's 2 games scoreless, and the Vikings need to solve that. There isn't a whole lot to say about tonight's game. They just ran into a pretty darn good football team.
Yeah, you know, Colfax tried to run it up the middle, and just couldn't really get much going. Had a couple nice plays out on some slant routes by Jensen and Tristan Lenz. And good night for Cameron Molina. Otherwise, they just couldn't get the offense going.
Right, and their bread and butter this year for the Vikings has been that using that run up the middle, Aiden McKee primarily, but also Austin Pekka, to establish the ability to throw the ball. And tonight they couldn't make that run up the middle a legit threat. And a lot of the credit for that goes to Spring Valley for plugging up that middle, because the Viking offensive line is actually pretty decent. And so they just couldn't get anything going.
Yes, Spring Valley was really disciplined tonight, and they just made Colfax keep the ball in the inside. And they had some big plays on the corners that kind of ran up the score.
And, you know, one of the things that Coach DeMoe commented about in Coach's Corner is that Spring Valley is a team that is playing well and gets better as the season goes. So those of you that have Spring Valley later on this season and come playoff time, look out. This is a team that's going to have to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you know, and they run the ball well. They had a great quarterback, can throw the ball down the field. Got some good wide receivers that can keep up with it. And their defense was solid. So they're going to go far this year.
Now, next week, next Friday, and we'll have it right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV, the Vikings will be taking on Turtle Lake, and that, I'm not trying to diminish the Turtle Lake Lakers at all, but they're not Spring Valley.
Yeah, there's going to be some teams in the conference that will match up a little better with Colfax, and this will be a good matchup.
So we'll have that one for you. Hey, this reminder, that'll be next Friday with Viking pregame beginning at 6:40 right here on both the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV. Don't forget that on Tuesday, the Viking volleyball team will be traveling over to Boyceville to take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. Action will start in that one at 7 o'clock. And then on Thursday, the girls will host Spring Valley with action in the Colfax High School gym beginning at 7 o'clock. Cross-country teams will head over to Spring Valley to compete in the 9-team Spring Valley Invitational. Action starts over in Spring Valley at 4:15. That's on Thursday. Start making your plans to attend this year's parent-teacher conferences, which will be held next Monday and Thursday. That's from 4 to 8 p.m. Just like a three-legged stool is the most stable, you're one leg in your child's education, so you and your child and the teacher. So don't let your leg of that plan fall. Attend your child's parent-teacher conferences next week on Monday or Thursday. So that's going to do it for us tonight. Final score once again, Vikings 49. Or check that, Spring Valley Cardinals 49, Vikings 0. For Dan Petchow and Zoe Pitts, this is Rick Olson reminding you that tonight's Colfax High School football game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital, Dairy State Bank, Midwest Environmental Consultants, Anderson Bridge, Synergy Co-op, Slayton's Technology, Pleasant Valley Properties, the Security Agency, and Kyle's Buff and Shine. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and on NLWN-TV.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now, so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Vikings game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.